Okay, so suppose we want to split cells. So I'm going to paste in here an example of cells we might want to split. So this is just a portion of a CSV file that I had. So as you can see, it's got all these commas in. So CSV stands for comma separated file. So each data point is separated by a comma. So supposing we want to split each comma into a different column. So first of all, select it, then we can click on data, text to columns, and we have various ways we can split this into columns. So we've got two options here, delimited and fixed width. So first of all, fixed width is obviously not applicable here because the first portion of each data series is of varying length. If I try and do the fixed width and try and split them like that, it would be fairly meaningless because other columns would just not be useful. So let's click on delimited instead, and then next. So well, I already know the answer to this. It should be separated by comma. So we can just click on comma. So tab, there's no tabs there, there's no semicolons, there's no spaces, there's no other, all there is comma. So we just need to click comma, and as you see, it just splits it really nicely into different columns, and then I can click on next. And we can also, none of these are date format, but it's data format. So it's giving us an option if we format these as text or dates, or we can also not import a column if we like. We can skip it. You see that says skip. So we can choose how we format it, and also if we decide to skip a column, although there's not much point in skipping because we can easily just delete later. So I click finish. And there we go, everything is nicely separated. So I'll double click there. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it again. Paste. Okay, now because I've just gone through this data text to columns, it knows already what I'll probably want to do is to split this into columns. So when I paste this CSV into there, it automatically splits it into columns. Now this may or may not be what you want to do, and I personally have problems with this because sometimes I just want to import it as raw text, like actually I want to do now. So in that case, first of all you have to click on the A column again, text to column, and then you have to change this to limited, change it to say semicolons. Okay, next, finish. And now if I click on paste again, home, paste, it does it as I in fact wanted this time, to put it all in the first column. That was an example with commas. You can delimit in other ways, as you can see, data, text to columns. You can do it based on you can put your own thing in here, sort of. Okay, so I'll give you an example of doing it with the other. Supposing you wanted to do it on space. If I select it all and click on text to columns, delimited, I can split either by semicolon or by, I'll uncheck that now, so it just will split according to space. And then what that's done is it's overwritten this other data up there. So let's just do back. So that's something you have to be careful about, and it did warn you about it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag it over to here so we don't have that issue. Select column, text to columns, delimited, by space, there, and then finish. It's showing how it's going to do it, which is what we want. Finish, and it nicely splits it by space, and it also deletes the space, so there's no space here now after the words Marilyn, which you can see by clicking there. The space is gone. The other way you might want to do it is to do it delimit it, because sometimes it depends what you're trying to import. So let's just do this. I'll show what it looks like, even though it's very wrong. So paste, let's select that and then do data, text to columns, fixed width, next. That's how, and then you can just put your columns exactly where you like, and then click on finish, and there you see it's done exactly what we told it to, which is not particularly useful, but in this case, but in other cases it can be very useful, because maybe you can see here clearly where the columns ought to go, and it sort of depends really where the data comes from, which software it's been exported from, and so on. But normally I just use delimited and one of these, or I can type my own in if needed.